Hello YouTube and welcome back to World of Warships with Wadres yet again, and today's video is kind of going to be a brief overview, really more than anything else, of the 8.7 release notes. And of course we know that 8.7 releases tomorrow, or actually at the time I'm actually doing this recording, today. But on top of that, there are a number of other things that are in here, and I just kind of want to go over it just very briefly. And I also want to put a question out to you, and I suppose I will put the question out first while it's early in the video. And this is more for my subscribers than anything else. I would like to know if any of you would be interested in me doing a full series of tech line review videos, where I actually go through down the tech lines of ships and do reviews of the individual tech line ships, how they operate, my opinions on them, etc. and so forth. Looking at them from the perspective of a newer or experienced player, and basically just kind of make recommendations on whether or not it is something that I think would be effective for a newer player to get into. The other option would be to just kind of keep going as I have been and, well, not really change much up. Of course, there are other options still, but I think I would like to kind of hold those ideas in reserve for right at the moment. Right at the moment, again, I just kind of want to have feelers out onto whether or not anybody would be open to having just full line reviews out there for all of the existing tech lines from tier 1 all the way up through tier 10. And I will try to see if I can get a poll out on there on my video somehow. We'll see how that goes. If I can, you'll definitely see it pop up on the screen right about now, I'm sure. Anyway, or maybe not necessarily right about now, but somehow, somewhere in the video. Anyway, that aside, just going over the patch 8.7 notes. Of course, we have the continuation of the French Destroyers event. We have, the continuation of the event. 4 more weeks, 4 more directives of this ludicrously, horribly long event string. I'm sorry, was that out loud? But who else is getting tired of this endless string of events? Because Lord knows I am. I think it's definitely time that Wargaming gave players a breather, because it's literally getting utterly ridiculous in my mind. But you know what? Maybe that's just me. I don't know. For the other news, however, we also have the Research Bureau, previously known as the Naval Training Center, Paragon, depending on how far back you go. And this is the, basically the, well, this is the system by which you can regrind some of your tech lines for the chance to gain points that would earn you new premium ships or other potential future rewards. So that's going to be interesting to see how that operates, and maybe even who actually takes part in it. Having a few tier 10s myself, I might even regrind a couple of my lines. I'm certainly looking at my German destroyers, because Lord knows that was one of the few lines that I actually had fun with in its entirety. Of course, the US battleships are also a likely candidate for that as well. They are also introducing changes to the matchmaker, which should limit severely the number of top or bottom tier matches that you end up in, which is good news for a lot of players. Basically, you should not run into any more than, I think it was 6 out of 20 or 8 out of 20 battles where you could end up at bottom tier against higher tier ships. So that's definitely a reasonable quality of life improvement for just about everybody, if I do say so. Because Lord knows I've had some ridiculously long strings, like when I was doing my Graf Zeppelin secondaries video from a couple of weeks back, that I just got into a severely long string of matches where I was just consistently and constantly up-tiered, and it just really made for I'll be perfectly honest, just a really lousy experience. So that's, again, going to be a nice quality of life improvement. There's also changes to the autopilot, which I guess just streamlines that a little bit more. The bigger one, however, here is the AA defense changes. The priority sector is being reworked, where now it will only be active for a certain amount of time before it goes back to normal settings, and then you have to go through and reselect a priority sector after a certain cooldown time. The AA will also be doing basically burst instantaneous damage upon choosing to focus on that sector, and then it will kind of ramp up towards full efficiency, sit at full efficiency for a time, and then everything drops back down to 100% for a specified cooldown period. And, of course, the destroyers, aircraft carriers, cruisers will all have different percentages of instantaneous damage, etc. and so forth. And the cooldowns will also be a little bit different dependent on the classes. I'm not going to go into any specifics. There are also some changes to the manual AA skill. It is now being changed to the massive AA fire skill, and this now increases the instantaneous damage of the sector selection, but it will no longer have any effects on the continuous damage by what I am seeing. And it will also increase the cooldown period of choosing the priority sector. So it's going to be one of those trade-off skills where you get your instantaneous damage, and this may be better for your low AA ships, but you're losing something in return. They're also offering commander skill resets for the update, considering that they are making basically a major change to a 4-point skill, so they are offering the opportunity for players to reset their commanders for free for up to a week after the update. There are also some minor user interface changes. The port is getting a little bit of a change with tech tree and carousel displays for your ships. The armory is getting the tier 10 Smolensk for coal, and I think the tier 10 destroyer USS Summers is being added as a steel ship for 25,000 steel. And you got another ship locked behind the whole steel wall. But okay, anyway, moving on. In other words, there are a couple of ships being added. They are also adding patches now for a small pittance of doubloons to the armory as well, for players who have not quite been able to unlock some of the patches they would like to use to show their in-game pride, if you will. And they are also adding some special camouflages. The European nation is being formed. This will include the Blaskovica, and also any other potential European state nations that may be added in the future that aren't necessarily don't necessarily have their full entire navies in there. There are also some special camouflages being added for the Graf Spee, the Warspite, and the Shinonome, and as well as the Furious, La Galicienne, Le Terrible, and Fuso. They are also adding the Italian cruiser line to the test servers for overall testing. So we may not necessarily see them in the tech line, but we will potentially see them in battle. So that's something else to have in the back of your mind, is that the Italian cruisers are now in for testing. Oh boy, yet another tech tree to add to the whole friggin' event grind string. I'm sorry, did that come up again? Can you tell I'm getting tired of these endless events? Is anybody else, again? Okay, anyway, moving on. There are some other minor changes, really, but nothing overly incredible that I'm seeing. And that's really about it. Anyway, coming back to what I was saying earlier, I am going to put a poll up on my videos at some point here, and basically just asking, just giving a couple of options for what you all would like to see with my channel moving forward. And this is primarily for my subscribers to vote on, for those of you who regularly watch my videos. So if you're not a regular on my channel, and I do apologize for saying this, but if you're not a regular on my channel and you don't really understand what my channel is all about, even with my disclaimer, etc. and so forth, please just don't vote. But for my subscribers who have been with me for a while, you are more than welcome to select an option. Though the one thing I will say, and I'm going to be blunt about it, you're not going to see me posting an option to get into random battles or see more random matches. Sorry, but again, that's not the way my channel works. So, but as far as other things, just kind of have an idea on something that I might like to do, and whether or not I'd like to know whether or not it would be just something my viewers would be open to seeing. Anyway, I suppose I shall go ahead and let you all go for the moment, and let you all carry on with your day. I know there's a whole new Warships update you all have to download, and, well, once you get in there, I hope you get to enjoy it, because I'm probably not going to get there until tomorrow, meaning Thursday. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I suppose I shall actually go ahead and let you all go. Hope you all take care, stay safe, and I will catch you all next time. Happy hunting, folks.